Well, it's our annual Labor Day show. Snow's favorite holiday.
Thanks for being a worker.
Yeah. We've already
No,
had,
we need a day off from being workers.
we've already had our barbecue, which we do every year. Cat's joining us. Hi, Cat.
Hello.
We've already played the Dropkick Murphys worker song, which we do every year. It's tradition.
Always.
Yeah.
The best pro-union band.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Which we still don't have an endorsement from Sean O'Brien.
I
of
know.
The Teamsters.
I know. He's waiting to meet with Kamala.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
I mean, I guess.
They're gonna... Okay, I'm not gonna ruin the suspense for anyone, and I'm gonna let y'all know. They will be endorsing Harris Walls. Just... It's gonna take time, but mark my words. They will be.
It's a given.
They will be. They just... whether it's they want to, hold out so they can seem super important and all. I don't know what it is. It's like, okay, you're late to the party, but you're still welcome. All right.
Did you see
Because everyone's welcome.
the Arizona Police Union? What's the word?
Endorsed.
Endorsed Gallegos instead of Carrie Lake.
Yeah,
They were gonna endorse her, I guess, but then Trump pissed him off because when they were endorsing Trump, he was telling him to get off the stage because he wanted to talk. So they're like, no,
Oh, yeah.
we're
She
gonna
sent it to...
endorse him then or something.
He sent it to her. On the teleprompter, it said, get off the stage. Trump wants on the stage. Telling Carrie Lake that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. It's like, hey, you dumb fucking asshole. He does not care about you. This is how everyone should realize this. He does not care about you. That Olivia lady, I can't remember her last name, but she was talking about, she was being interviewed after she spoke at the DNC, and she had worked formerly in the Trump administration. And she was in there telling people that he would bitch at his rallies and after his rallies and before his rallies, how he's like, I don't want to have to touch these people, shake their hand. His supporters. He's like, they're disgusting. I know. And yet these people have this undying fucking love for this man. And he's like, he doesn't even want to touch your hand.
Yeah.
That's how little he thinks of you.
He's looking out for you.
He just wants your fucking money.
Because he's concerned about COVID germs. No, that's not it.
No.
No.
He just wants their money.
No.
He does not give a fuck about them. He thinks that they are subhumans, whatever, That's how he views them.
Yeah.
Yet, they have undying love for him.
Although his new commercial is, I only want you to contribute if you can afford it. He does the whole, only if you can afford
Well,
it.
because you have to make it sound like you give a shit. He's secretly thinking, please sign your social security checks over to me.
Take out a second.
I don't care if you have to
shoes.
Right? I don't care if you have to live in a cardboard box to fund me. That's how he really feels. He doesn't give a shit
Plus, we're gonna
about
save
them.
America.
He's like an abusive husband or whatnot, and you have to deal with your friend, and you're like, no, he doesn't give a shit about you. He does not give a fuck.
I wonder if that means
But
that
you
his
can't get it through their
supporters are,
head.
Codependent.
His supporters most definitely are
that's
codependent.
A good analogy.
They're abused.
Why they're the way they are.
Abused spouses. I won't say abused women because I don't want to just, there's abused men out there too.
Yeah.
Well,
There are. I mean.
Well, I was reading an article that was talking about it, and it was about low information voters. And what they do is they just rely on Facebook. And you see a meme, and they take that to heart. like the whole Red Lobster going under for because of Bionomics. When in reality, what it is, it's corporate greed.
Yeah, they're intellectually lazy.
Well,
they don't care to actually look into.
In all fairness
facts.
to them, Facebook feeds them what Facebook thinks they want to see because it's based off the algorithm. So they're like, oh, you're a person that loves Donald Trump. You're probably going to really love this. We'll feed this to you.
Well, and that happened to me when I started my new account because of the area. You put in your area, you put in your age, put in male. And I was avoiding adding any Trumpsters at first because I was like, I just don't want to see it. And I was just fed right-wing shit just because of my age and my demographic.
I started getting, like, okay, I'm not on Facebook. You know, I quit that a long time ago when the whistleblower came out. But my email account, my own personal email, I don't know how I'm now getting stuff from Team Trump. Like, it'll say Team Trump Arizona, blah, blah, blah.
Are you registered as independent?
No. And I don't click on any of it. Like, I don't click on any of it because I just delete them so they think, like, that it's not even a real email address and maybe they'll get the hint, you know?
I got a text message from some random number that said, will you be voting for Trump? And I, like, A, yes, or B, no. And I'm like, B, fuck no.
Yeah.
Like,
fuck
why am I getting this?
Capital
Why?
N, capital O, capital fuck too. Like,
how did you get my phone
fuck
number?
no.
Why?
I know. Like, I think they're just, I don't know. Are they just desperate and they're just like trying to go after everyone? They're like, we don't even care how this person's registered, where it's like.
Seems like it.
I mean, you could buy into a database of just emails and just send them out there.
And, I mean, these people have no shame. Most of them, they don't care if you call them a hypocrite. They don't care when we throw the hypocrisy thing in their face, like when they'll say shit, but yet their side is most of the times being caught doing the things that they're complaining about, and then you throw that back in their face. They don't give a shit. Like, they don't care about any, like the stuff with veterans.
Right.
You know, and Trump repeatedly saying and talking shit about veterans, yet they're just like, talk to a lot of veterans in this area. They're like Team Trump. They're like, you can't.
Right. But if Joe Biden had gone to that area of the Arlington Cemetery, stood next to her grave, smiling with a thumbs up, what do you think the reaction would be?
In an area where you are not allowed to take pictures. I just went to Arlington Cemetery last October in 2023. It hasn't even been a full year yet. Yeah, I remember going to the sections where they're like, you cannot do any pictures here. Like, they are very strict in this area. You know, you just can't. But then, like, the crazy thing is like, I know people who are veterans, have the veteran shit plastered all over their vehicles, all over their houses. Then they have that big giant Trump flag that says, fuck your feelings. And the whole time I'm looking at it, I'm like, is this geared toward that family that complained about Trump using the photo optics for their family member had just committed suicide? He had like 8 trips to Iraq or whatever.
Right, and his grave was next to the one from the Afghanistan.
Right, and he had like tons of PTSD issues. So he had recently just committed suicide, and they were having services for him. And Trump and them used him as a prop as well. And it's like, so is this guy, the dude that I know, are you basically telling that military family, fuck your feelings?
Yeah.
Trump needed to get his photo off. Fuck your feelings.
Yeah.
And Maybe he served with this dude. I don't know. You're around the same age.
Which the only reason he was there wasn't FU to the Biden-Harris campaign because of the 13 Afghanistan soldiers.
He was there to rub their noses in the 13 soldiers killed under Biden's administration. Forgetting all about, here's where the hypocrisy comes in that they're not going to give a shit about. Forgetting about the 63 people that were killed while Trump was president, but fuck them, right? Fuck your feelings on that.
But what they say was Trump was under no active wars during his presidency, which is not true because he is the one that signed into law that the Afghanistan war would end at a certain date.
Right.
And he's the one...
He moved it forward to get this process going.
He's the one that released something like 2,000 Taliban soldiers in a hostage exchange program. He's the one that wanted to bring the Taliban to Camp David on 9/11.
What?
To negotiate.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all true.
Whoa,
he is the one that he is the one that closed 3 out of the 4 air bases in Afghanistan, leaving only 1 air base left. And when it became a shit show and they had to get out of there, there was only 1 air base to evacuate from. This was all done under Trump.
And I'll just say, I'll quote Rick Wilson here, but hey, pussy ass bitch, if you would have fucking won the election, then the 13 people would have died under you because it was already set in place that was when it was happening.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the logic.
Which technically wasn't he the president because the election was stolen?
Yeah.
Right?
I
mean, a lot of people believe that he's the president.
That's a valid
so if he was the president, why didn't he do something to stop it?
It's a valid point based on, what you believe about that fucking election. Then he fucking let us down, right?
Yeah, because he was the president. That's what we're talking about, people.
Cherry fucking hypocrisy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But they don't. You can't even call them hypocrite. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about being called hypocrites. They don't give a shit about being called liars, because they are cultists. They are in a cult.
Okay,
they don't fucking care.
Let's go on that point. Okay, they don't care. They know the president lies, right? And the media kind of goes, well, we all know he lies. Yeah, I think even Fox News go, yeah, we know he lies. He tells some mysteries. We know that.
Fox is like, we lie for him.
Okay.
Spread his lies.
Okay, but then why did they go after Tim Walz for taking a picture of his... He's at a dog park, okay, and he posts on his social media, hey, I'm here with Scout. Is that his dog's name? Was it Scout?
His dog is Scout. And then the second post was like... They didn't even take the time to read it. It was something about, we met this other dog, which happens. I don't know if you guys have been to a dog park, but that usually happens. Usually your dog plays with other dogs while they're at this thing called a dog park.
Are they trying to say that he lied about what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who his dog is.
So
Yes.
he has a black dog. It looks kind of like maybe like a black lab, I guess. And they have a picture of him with like a light colored dog that he was petting at the dog park. He goes to visit the dog park today, and Scout sure had a good time. Yeah, and they said, well, he doesn't even know what kind of dog he has.
He doesn't even know his own dog's color.
What the hell?
Like, they were trying to do a piggyback on when Donald Trump was attacking Kamala. Oh, she's black now? Remember when he came out and did that? So they're kind of trying to piggyback on that, but they didn't even read the whole post. They looked at pictures and they're like, one of these things does not look like the other.
Like, that's not his dog.
One of these things is different. I'm not going to read to find out what it is. I'm just going to go ahead and make shit up on my own. Like,
At least it shows that Walls likes dogs in general, because I feel like Trump seems
Trump
like
hates
he
dogs.
seems like someone that probably fucking kicks dogs, and that's all I really need to know about.
Well, yeah,
or kills them.
Yeah, like
Well,
yeah,
he
I mean,
looks like someone
I'm-
who would come home and kick a dog.
Well, unlike many people, that's because dogs know character.
yeah,
Mhm.
I'll bet he couldn't have a dog.
yeah,
A dog would probably
Dog would
bite
probably-
him
Yeah.
yeah.
and be like, I don't fucking like you. Yeah.
I don't know if Trump did win though, Biden should leave behind his dog. just leave him hidden in one of the rooms.
that would be a disservice to the
Major.
dog.
Major.
Major is a biter though.
Yeah, could you
Like,
imagine what Major would do to Trump?
I know, but then Trump will just fucking sue.
Major
Yeah.
pain.
He'll just bust out with a lawsuit like he normally does. That's his MO. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fucking. When has a Democratic governor shot at the dog?
Someone that doesn't like dogs, that says all I need to know about their character.
Yeah, Christy Nome. Like
Christy Nome, yeah.
their dog, they've got like dog killers on their side. Straight up, she's like,
Yeah.
this dog's untrainable. I'm going to shoot it in the head. Put it out of its misery.
JD,
You know?
JD Vance had to he had to tell that redeem himself or whatever by saying, I don't have a problem with cats, I don't have a problem with dogs, but it's women. He didn't say anything about women. It's like, yeah,
Why didn't he
obviously
say-
you hate
but-
women.
I love
So-
couches even
Yeah.
more than those two things.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't have a problem with cats or dogs.
Except when they get hair on the furniture.
yeah, right.
On his couch,
Violating
especially,
my
he's
couch.
like, "Get your hair out. This is supposed to be hair free, so I can bang away at this beauty."
I know.
I'm so glad that
He has relations, and then he's using that that brush to get the hair off his underwear.
The lint roller.
Yeah.
And then the donut shop, when he's trying to act like a normal human and order donuts, and it totally backfires.
He's something else. Like, and him ordering the Philly cheesesteak with Swiss cheese. Everybody knows you get the
that's
cheese
weird.
whiz. Okay?
Yeah.
You could try, don't get me wrong, when I was in Philly, I did try other cheeses. None of them were ever Swiss,
I
though.
thought
They
it would
have,
be
like, a few
provolone.
options.
Does
They
it-
don't have Swiss,
What
though.
about provolone?
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
provolone.
Like
It's supposed to be
Yeah.
provolone.
I tried it with provolone because I do really like the provolone, too.
Yeah.
And we went 3 different places to get cheesesteaks, okay? So I'm like, maybe I should switch it up and not have the
He doesn't
cheese
even
whiz
know the
today.
difference between his cheeses, and they're all talking about different colored dogs. What the hell? No.
Especially when, like, hello, remember those commercials? Oh, the power of cheese. How can you not know about cheese? I mean, my God, it is like the most important.
It's pretty
food.
un-American.
How do you
know
expect to
about
win
cheese.
Wisconsin without knowing the cheeses?
Right? Especially Wisconsin. America's Dairyland, motherfucker.
The donut. It's like that. He leans in and tries to talk to the worker. He's like, you know who I am? I'm running for vice president. And she's just like, I don't want to be recorded.
So, like, I don't
And
care.
he's like, okay, guys, she doesn't want to be recorded.
He's very
He's
awkward.
so lame.
So
So lame. I like how he got booed by the firefighters.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool.
the day before, Walls was in Boston before the firefighters union got this big
Oh,
cheers,
yeah.
and then JD Vance went the next day and got booed because he said, "Well, Trump and I will be the most pro-union presidency ever." Yeah, okay.
No, you're not. You already talked about firing people that try to strike to get a union in their workplace. Like, fuck you. You're a liar.
Well, yeah, I mean that's how.
You were giggling it up like 2 chatty schoolgirls. You and fucking Elon Musk.
Trump wants to basically make it super easy to fire any federal employees that are not like yes men to him. So
He wants to be a dictator.
Yeah, he wants to be a dictator.
Like, he is like salivating over the possibility of him being a dictator.
So, say the Department of Health, where you'd have to have scientists and stuff like that, who a lot of times lean left, a lot of it's just facts. A lot of higher educated people are leaning to the left. So you're going to get rid of those people, and you're going to put some low IQ Kingmanites in the health department.
Probably Don Jr. is going to run it or some shit like that.
Or is the health department one that they're wanting to
Dr. Oz or something like that.
Entirely?
Oh,
I
God.
don't remember. Is it? Yeah. I don't know. I know they want to dismantle a bunch of different things.
Department of Education.
That's one of them.
I mean, who knows if they will, but you always see it that they want to put the 10 Commandments in the classroom and stuff like that.
The thing I watched about the Heritage Foundation behind the Project 2025 stuff, there's an article I read that they themselves wrote for 2018 that during his term he actually implemented 80% of their suggestions at that time. And that's a lot. Even if he doesn't implement some of them.
And a lot of his people are behind that.
Project 2025, Project 2025 is way more organized than what they were his first election.
Right. And he just rewords it to Project 47 on his website.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much the same things.
I found a video from 2022 where he spoke in Florida to them, and he basically said that they're gonna help lay the groundwork for the future presidency or whatever. It's it's pretty damning evidence. He tries to distance himself from it now that it's out there, but just 2 years ago he's over here talking about it.
JD Vance wrote the foreword to the book.
Yeah, so I don't know how people can honestly believe him when he says that he doesn't know about it.
I don't know.
It's bullshit.
Do you think there's?
I don't know how they believe anything that comes out of his mouth.
It blows my mind.
Fucking, if his mouth is open, there are fucking lies coming out of it.
Yeah, him recently saying that he would fund IVF or make IVF free.
That's the thing.
Wait, that sounds like socialism.
He literally. That's what I was like. I go when I heard that. I go, this moron literally is supporting both socialism and abortion at the same time and doesn't even realize it. Because the thing with IVF, there's several embryos that don't make it, that are killed off.
Evangelicals want to make embryo personhood. They want to implement personhood, and
that's why they had such a problem with IVF in the first place. And then he's sitting there saying the government's going to pay for it. I'm like, that's socialism, and it's also abortion. What?
It's funny that I think any of the pro-choice people, at least I would hope that they're smart enough to realize that he's full of shit when he makes that promise, but
you would think they are.
But I feel like it's.
And then what is he thinking?
Pissed off some of the evangelicals.
Does he think that his evangelist took the day off of listening to what he has to say on that day? Maybe I'll just sneak this in here really quick to the people who like pro-choice and all that. Yeah. I'll just say it really fast. And then they won't know, because I've already told them that I'm on their side. So I'm just going to come over here and tell you really quick.
I feel like
hey, you don't pay attention to what I'm doing over here. He's like the dumbest mastermind on the planet.
I think that's just going to piss
He's
off.
He's not even good at it.
No, they are pissed off, and some of them said they're not going to vote for him now.
That's
good.
That's so fucking
funny.
Yeah,
I love that.
He's losing supporters left or right, and I don't get the polls because
he's flip-flopping.
The polls show her in the lead, but she's got to be so much more in the lead than what they're showing.
That's what I've been thinking. I've been thinking that she's way more in the lead. Yes, we can't get complacent. We still gotta pretend like she's behind.
Someone said
just pretend like she's behind.
Hillary was in the lead the first time around in the polls, and so that's concerning. Don't get apathetic,
but
guys.
With Hillary, you had the whole James Comey thing where he released the emails a week before the election. That kind of screwed her.
Oh, so that...
All those undecided people suddenly flipped.
Even though she
won by 3 million votes.
that, and even though she was on trial for 17-hour days or something.
So stupid.
And they found jack shit.
And he's got.
Yet
and
they
he gets
still
to have boxes
still,
of classified information in his goddamn bathroom.
Yeah, and
that's okay.
And they're really
flushing it down the toilet.
Like, what the hell?
There really wasn't a whole lot in those emails,
Other than
the only thing that was in those emails that was damning to her was how the DNC fucked over Bernie Sanders, and that was about it.
And that probably made a lot of people flip on her too.
That probably did.
It did, but here's the thing: it shouldn't have. I will say this as a Bernie person.
It's like
Bernie told you,
even as
he went out there and still said for you to vote for Hillary Clinton that he was voting for Hillary Clinton, and you fucking should have listened, you dumb fucking morons.
Yeah,
they pissed me off.
It's like you have to. See
I'm like, if you
picture.
really loved Bernie and loved what he stood for and really listened to him, then you would have listened to him all the way, and you didn't. So and I even understand, okay, the people, if you lived in a state where you could go ahead and do your protest vote, fine. Like if you lived in Washington, Oregon, California, fine, do your protest vote, but the people who were in swing states doing it, or even red states, fuck you for not listening to Bernie. Fuck you.
Yeah, we would not be in this mess now.
Yeah. If you would just did what
we listened to Bernie.
Snow and I did. We didn't want to vote for her.
How bad I wanted to vote for Bernie. You know how bad I wanted Bernie to be president, but I did what Bernie Sanders said should be.
I think
the best.
I think there was even a minute where you and I were considering writing Bernie Sanders, but once Bernie said nope, vote for Hillary, we're like, okay, we know these, right now, we know the assignment.
And we vote, to be fair, we vote by mail. So we thought that, long before you even got your mail-in ballots anyways.
Yeah.
You know?
Which, we are only about 5 weeks away from getting mail-in ballots.
I'm so excited. I wish I got it so I could vote right away.
I'm a vote that day. It's going to be...
I am ready.
27 days before Election Day is when they're sent out.
Nice. I saw something about Arizona's trying to make it harder for some people to vote, but I didn't really pay attention to the specifics of what it was.
Well, that's every state.
That's going to be every swing state is going to make it harder to vote.
Bullshit.
So we encourage the listeners to
make sure
not only check your registration. I would suggest when you get your ballot,
check it 85 times.
Check it 85 times. Turn it in by hand if you can.
Yeah.
And then check it and make sure they counted it. It's real.
I check mine every year. I will admit I don't. Maybe this year I'll give it to them by hand, but I usually mail it in so early, and then I check it by mail, and it always says, yes, your ballot has been returned and accepted.
I wouldn't even trust a postman here.
Yeah, that's what I think. Because they see what pamphlets you get in the mail, so they have an idea of how you vote, based on that.
True. Yeah.
I take mine directly to the county building, down the road, and just put it right there.
I've never had a problem before, but maybe this year I'll walk my happy ass there.
Yeah, but they are going to do everything possible. They've already said they're already putting rules in place in Georgia to make it easy for the election officials, if they don't like the results, to question the results.
That's because the only way they can win or have a shot at winning is by cheating.
Yeah.
I don't know how this doesn't tell average people that they are doing some shady shit. Yeah. If they've got to cheat in order to win, that is not going to benefit you.
There's people...
that is not going to benefit regular people.
But if you're a Trump supporter, you don't care.
Yeah.
You don't care. Okay, let's go back to the Russian interference thing now. It was found out. Bill Barr decided that there was not Russian interference based on the report. Okay, the report said, "I am not going to make this a decision on whether he was guilty or not. I'm going to leave it up to the Attorney General." The Attorney General said there's not enough there. Trump was like totally exonerated. No, that's not. You were not totally exonerated on that. There was some kind of Russian interference thing. Was Trump involved? Who knows? But there was Russian interference. It's been proven. Russian tried to interfere with anti-Hillary shit on Facebook and social media.
They always do.
Discourse.
They're doing it now too.
Yeah,
I mean,
bots on there. Like you can recognize who's a bot if you're halfway smart. You know.
But some people they're like, oh,
very smart. So
or they're like, I like everything this post is saying. I love it.
Yeah.
This is great. I'm gonna repost.
Well, and that goes back to the low information voter thing that I was talking about earlier, where it talks about that. That's how people get all their information. They don't look at it. They don't see something crazy. Like here's one. I'll give you an example. Somebody came to me and said in Quincy, Massachusetts, there was a veteran center that housed homeless veterans that kicked out the veterans to house immigrants. Uh-huh. And I was like, well, that doesn't really make sense. So I decided to look it up.
Right.
It took me 2 seconds to Google this. I knew okay. Did the Massachusetts governor kick out veterans? Story comes up. Bam. The Massachusetts governor used a building in Quincy, Massachusetts that used to house homeless vets. Okay? That building was scheduled for demolition. The veterans had already been moved. She stopped the demolition, and because of all these immigrants from red states that are being bussed up to Massachusetts, she housed them. She housed them in those buildings rather than being on the streets doing whatever they would be doing.
Especially in Boston, it's cold.
But this person didn't used to be a dumb person. You know what I mean? And it took me 5 minutes. If I see something like the Democrats do something wacky, I'll Google it and be like, is that true?
This person is now a member of the cult. I mean, look at if you watch any of those cult shows, those people give up their whole family and friends for this ideal, like shit they never did before. They're like, nope, I'm on board with, project bullshit, whatever. All for, this one person, this leader. Like that's what they do. Like that's what your friend's doing. Your friend's just like, fuck everything I ever knew in my life. This is what I'm going for. They've got tunnel vision. Right. They only see their leader.
Now, we're not talking about conservative values. I understand the difference between, liberal and democratic or liberal.
These aren't conservatives. They're trumpetives, if you will. I mean, they're Trumplicans. They're not, I don't even consider them Republican, conservative, whatnot. I consider you MAGA. That's what you are. You're MAGA. The only thing you care about is MAGA. You don't give a shit about what the country really stands for. All you give a shit is that your leader was hugging and making out with the flag, and you think that's patriotic. You don't think that any of the other shit is patriotic. Like, standing up for what's in the Constitution, whatever. They don't give a shit about that. They care about the man. That's it. Like, it's all about him. They're abused. They're abused partners. I mean, it's like if you have a friend that's dating or married to an emotionally abusive person, that's what they're under a spell.
Well, did you hear there's a certain sector of women who are going to have to quietly go out and vote for Harris on it and not let their husbands know?
I know. This fact that I learned, it both made me happy and wanted to cry all at the same time, because this was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. The most searched thing on Google was, is there a way I can vote and my husband doesn't find out about it?
Oh, wow.
And it's that's both sad, and then it's also yay, that means that they're going to vote for Harris.
Yeah.
They're going to vote for more along not just their own benefits, but the whole country's really, unless you're like you own a corporation or, or
It's crazy.
I know.
billionaire.
How strong of
I mean-
how strong of a woman do you have to be, though, to even be married to a MAGA?
Yeah.
If you're a liberal, if you're a liberal leaning, or even a moderate conservative who just believes in Harris's plans more, it's got to be hard to be married to somebody like that.
Well, and maybe they are a conservative that is totally down with
Like
conservative
an actual
values.
conservative
They just
and not a
want,
Trumpist.
for the sake of the country, they don't want our country
Yeah.
going in the toilet.
They just
and
want
they're
this.
like, I want a sense of normalcy coming back to my country. That's it.
They just want the age of Trump just to be over with.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just want it over with. Kind of like, without having to have their whole marriage over with, I guess. They just are like, I just want this over with.
Well,
Maybe my husband will return back to normal if we just get rid of this fucking orange fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure the husband wasn't always a raging psycho either about,
The
Trump.
brainwashing.
They probably had, they probably weren't a raging psycho, but they probably had some kind of tendencies. You don't wake up one day and be like, I think I'll get on board with that shit, Like,
Yeah.
they've got to have something that pulled them that way a little bit, But that's those women's business.
Yeah.
If you want to deal with having a dude like that, you're more than welcome
Hopefully
to.
there are enough just like logical conservatives that are willing to vote for the bigger picture.
I think
What's right,
I think there are.
I think there is.
I really think
and
there
that's
are.
that's where I think the polls are kind of misleading because there's a lot of the Republicans against Trump is pretty big. And some very prominent Republicans are on it.
And there's other groups too. Look at Rick Wilson.
Rick Wilson
Runs one. That is like basically, he's with the Lincoln Project. They're not liberals over there.
Okay, but you have that. Okay, the black voters are overwhelmingly for Harris.
Right.
Hispanic voters are more for Harris on it, even more than Biden. Biden was losing some support.
Yeah.
On that.
He was losing a lot of support.
Young voters overwhelmingly in support of Harris. First-time voters, new registrations, record numbers, and they're after Harris was nominated. That tells you who they're voting for.
I think the majority of the people, like the majority of us who don't like living in the past, like we'd like to get on with our lives. We like progress. We like the days moving along and whatnot. We're still looking for those, hydro boards or whatever we were promised in the 80s, like whatever. I think that the majority of people want to just move on from this. We're kind of like, all right, we need to break up with you, sir. Like, we're done. We need you to go away.
It'll be interesting to see what
Quit
the
spinning the
Republican
block.
Party does to try to recuperate their party after all this shit.
I don't know. It's gonna be hard.
It's so disjointed now.
Because the other thing is the conservative voters tend to be older, and that voting bloc is starting to die off too. And the voting.
And that's the one that always does. And that just goes with the age, and
but
lifespans of humans.
Yeah, but younger voters are going to tend to always be more progressive,
Right.
More and more so.
Right. But it makes sense that the conservative vote is the one that's like pretty much always dying off because people tend to get more conservative later in their life.
It's weird.
They do.
Weird
Like,
that they say that. It's like,
My dad was a whole lot more left-leaning when he was younger, and now, like, he's not... I wouldn't necessarily call him a conservative. He identifies as being an independent. but the things he says
Probably,
is like,
maybe-
you didn't used to talk like this when you were younger. You know, you sound like an old person. You sound like an old
Maybe
angry
he
turd
was
now.
progressive for his time period, but the time period compared to now would be considered more conservative, right?
Oh, he was
Yeah.
definitely more progressive than my mom told me a story of where some members in our family got mad at him because he went to a pro-socialist meeting.
Oh, wow.
And they got pissed. I mean, they were like, how fucking dare you go to a socialist party's meeting? Just to go listen.
Yeah.
Like, they were pissed because of everything they were taught.
Yeah. Back then, that was like around the red scare too, right?
Yeah, and those were like
Kinda
things
that.
you didn't do, you know?
They didn't hesitate to claim that everyone was a communist, right?
Right?
Well, Snow, I think Madam Vice President listens to our podcast because right after we wrapped up last week's and we did say that she should do an interview, she agreed to do an interview.
Right?
What?
Yeah.
Who?
With
Harrison Walls
CNN.
did the interview with CNN the other night.
Oh.
And this was after...
I thought you meant with you.
No.
I'm like, what?
We wish. We would welcome that.
Oh, what?
And we would just throw her softballs.
Yeah, we wish we could get it. Yeah.
So anyway,
Oh,
she agreed to do an interview with CNN after
Are they
were giving her shit.
Is fucking fuckface gonna debate, or is he gonna be a pussy?
Who knows?
Like,
supposedly,
what is going on?
supposedly in this month, in September, it's supposed to be coming up.
Yeah, 10 days.
But
But she's gonna do an interview, so that's
No.
No, she did the interview.
Did the
But they were criticizing her because she did it with Tim Walz. Now, I don't know. I can't remember a time that someone did an interview with the vice president candidate.
only
Except,
when Trump and Pence interviewed, Trump and Vance interviewed together, Biden and Obama interviewed together, Biden and Harris interviewed together, Clinton and Gore interviewed together, Bush and Cheney interviewed together. Yeah, but I don't remember a time when that's ever happened.
So what you're saying is...
Must be because she's a chick, right?
So what you're saying is the first interview after the vice president candidate is chosen, they do a joint interview.
They have in the past. I just listed all of the interviews that had
Who
happened.
didn't give that note to Bill Maher?
Who didn't give it to anyone in the media? Why? How come they all work in the media yet they don't seem to fucking know this?
I think they like feed off of people's short attention spans. They think,
But it's like
people aren't gonna remember. Like,
Yeah, but
it just makes me
Or
want to
something.
call them
I don't
out
know.
for being
Stupid.
dumbasses, though.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't you work in that industry? You knew when that happened. You knew it did.
yeah,
And-
Yet you're refusing to admit it.
And Bill Maher isn't
That's weird.
fucking dumb.
He is not
knows.
stupid.
He knows this. You know,
he's
and
counting on the viewers being dumb, though.
He's counting on getting applause. He's counting on getting
short
applause.
attention spans. Yeah,
short
that's
attention
what they-
span.
I want you to
thing.
laugh
He knows
at my
that
jokes.
Most of people have a very short attention span.
I want you to laugh at my half-witted jokes because they don't even his jokes don't even make sense when you're leaving shit out. When you're sitting there fucking lying or covering up for things or not giving all the information. If people know the information, like, your jokes aren't fucking funny to me because it's like, you should know this.
Yeah.
You should know this. You work in that industry, you should fucking know. Don't be dumb.
Yeah.
Way more than this stupid podcast.
Right. Way more than these two dummies that run this, right? Like, what the fuck?
Maybe he has the brain worms.
Yeah.
And, right? He probably got them from RFK.
And
RFK brought him some roadkill to eat when
Yeah.
He's
Came
got
on
the brain
his-
worms.
show.
And here's the other thing. They criticized it for not being live. Every time they do this, okay? And what do? They take little sound bites to put on the shows coming up beforehand, they take these little stout bites. They mean, be sure to tune into 11 for this.
Another thing that you should know if you work in media, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like called the teasers to get people to come watch the show.
Yeah. Oh, and she's going to do it on CNN. They're going to go easy on her. No, they didn't.
They did not.
They did not go easy on her.
Dana Bash interviewed her. I had a problem right away with the first question she asked her about. So she asked Kamala about fracking, her stance on fracking. And Kamala said, in 2020, since 2020 and beyond, I am for fracking, like when it's done properly and all that, with all the, whatever goes into it. I personally don't know everything about fracking either.
Opinion on it,
right?
Honestly,
I don't know enough either about it. But what I do know is that when somebody answers your question with in 2020, and then you turn around as Dana Bash, or I don't know if she's like an AI robot after watching this, because then she's like, but in 2019, and it's like, okay, but she answered your question. Yeah. She probably already knew that she had, how is that not her knowing that she had a different stance before then? Like, and she's basically saying, since 2020 and beyond, this is my stance.
People are allowed to change their minds.
They asked her 3 times.
Obama and Hillary in 2008 were against gay marriage.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Huh. Yeah. But people are allowed to change their minds and progress the more information they get.
Hypocrite. It just means they learned more information.
Well, and the perfect thing, they gave her a hard time about that, but look at what Trump did this week on reversing his stance on abortion.
Yeah, like everything he does is a constant flip-flop. And it's obviously just because of pandering. It's not because of new information or anything genuine. It's just pandering.
And you know what pissed me off about Bill Maher commenting on that? You could just admit when you're wrong. I go, she basically did when she said, since 2020, before that, yes, I'll give it to you, I had a different stance. Since 2020, it's like, hey, Bill, why don't you take your own advice about the whole transgender thing? Because you said nasty shit. I don't know for a fact, I'm going to say right here, I don't know for a fact if he said any nasty stuff about the Olympic boxer gold medal winner. But his little friend, Harry Potter writer, she did. Why didn't you come out and call her out for being fucking wrong on her stance about things? Because you got somebody death threats when it's absolutely illegal in their country.
I'm glad
so
that
now
lady's
she's fucking suing you. And I hope she sues the fucking pants. That's probably why Bill Maher kept his mouth shut, because he didn't want to get fucking sued next.
It sounds like he's trying to gaslight Kamala, though. That's like
most certainly was.
Well, and Bill Maher was saying for months and months, he was one of the first ones that said we need to switch candidates. And once they do, he's going after Kamala.
Then he's like acting all pissy about it. Like, it's like, bitch, you got your wish. What the fuck? You should be on your stage doing backflips right now, as far as I'm concerned.
I was right.
And brag your fucking stupid little ass off about how you were right all along. I don't know why you weren't doing that. You were more like, I don't know if this is gonna. We'll see what happens.
Is he trying to give the illusion that he's like impartial? Perhaps.
No, he hates Trump.
What he does hate Trump, but I think he's also one of those special see you next Tuesdays where they just want to argue with whatever's in power.
Okay.
You know those type of people where they're just like, I'm just going to sit there and fucking dig my nail into your back.
It's also this, so I think it's more this, so with him. Is he knows he's a thorn in Trump's side, and Trump talks shit about him. I think Bill Maher loves that, and I think Bill Maher, for his ratings, it's much better under a Trump presidency. No, I think
then why doesn't he have better jokes about Trump? Honestly, like, you could do better. This whole season has been fucking mediocre at best. I'm sorry. It's like, you've had much better seasons of your fucking show, dude.
No, and it's the same way with CNN. I think CNN secretly wants Trump to win because
Same thing.
Chaos is better ratings.
Plus, I think they want the tax breaks too. I mean, I think that of all of them, I'm like, dude, they're probably like, well, yeah, but we pay less taxes under. Who cares if they're fucking up the country? We make money either way. Plus, we make even more money. We get even more ratings whenever things are going shitty. Why wouldn't we? Plus, and we pay less in taxes. Fuck yeah. That's how I think they look at it, honestly.
Probably. Everything's money to a lot of people.
Money and power.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit, I don't watch the news, or CNN in particular, as much as when Trump was president, because there was always some kind of shit show every day, so I'd be like, oh shit, what happened today?
Did we blow up yet?
Yeah.
Right?
So, I don't know, it's just fucked. You wouldn't want to think that they would want him, but maybe they do.
Who knows? Who knows what folks like that think? I mean, we can only sit there.
You know,
guess.
and let's go with the thing, like, last thing on this interview. They said that they were going to ask her softball questions. She didn't. She handled herself really well. You could tell she was getting really annoyed by the line of questioning, but she didn't.
She stayed cool as a cucumber, though.
Tim Walz.
I mean,
Tim Walz just let her just let her handle herself. He only really spoke when was spoken to. On it, he handled himself well, and he even was like, "Hey, yeah, there's times I misspeak about his wife had like the IUF treatment, not IVF." He goes, "Well, I just wanted to use a term that people could relate to."
Yeah, that's like genuine. At least it's not like trying to be deceptive or whatever.
Yeah, but they were trying to make him like he was being deceptive.
Oh, they're gonna try because they've.
That's smart.
Look at who they have on their side.
It's
Two
smart
shady
of
ass
him to come out
motherfuckers.
and say that that's straight up like the reason why. Like that's smart of him.
They're looking for anything because they have to defend. The reason why they have to attack so much, they have to defend a 34-count convicted felon and his idiot running mate. They have to defend their choices. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank God we're just a little over 60 days away from this nightmare being over.
Right?
And hopefully it is over.
I can't wait. I already can't wait. I want my ballot now so I can vote and be done with it.
Yeah, but then we have to wait till for it to be counted. And then we're not going to know that first night.
I know.
Well, actually, I hope it's so overwhelming that we do know that.
Yeah.
I mean, because if she gets Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, give me another one.
Nevada? Is that
Michigan?
Michigan.
Oh.
Georgia.
Ohio, maybe even Florida, which is crazy.
Oh, Florida, Hawaii. See,
maybe even Florida, man.
See, like Arizona, we're probably not going to know for a few days. So I hope it doesn't even get to Nevada and Arizona before we know.
I hope it's just like, all I do is win, 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 win.
Yeah,
like that on the daily.
like Obama, like when Obama won in 2012. It was like the polls closed at like 7 here. At 8 o'clock, CNN projected winner Barack Obama. I hope it's like that.
Win, win, win. Yeah, fuck yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah, but then it's there's gonna be all sorts of lawsuits.
What'll happen if those false electors try to not certify the votes or whatever? There's already people saying that if Trump isn't the guy,
they've put safeguards in place.
Do they?
Where
good.
They only can if it's close too. I mean, if it's a blowout, they can't steal it.
See, I don't know. Really
They're planning on stealing it. They're hoping it's going to be close so they can try to steal it.
Okay.
Yeah, and they've already given up.
So, we really do need to just blow it out.
Blow it out of the
water.
fucking water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a geyser.
Like win by 5 points in every state.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so hopefully. But
I'm glad at least people are way more motivated now.
yeah, there's definitely a different
hope.
excitement than
Yeah.
there was 6 weeks ago.
I appreciate Biden for doing what was right, you know?
Yeah.
But
and that's going to help his legacy, which if he would have stayed in, he wouldn't have made it to 4 years anyways.
Well, I mean, I don't know. But I mean, I'm glad that he passed the torch.
Yeah.
I thought that was the best
I
thing.
think that was real selfless of him to do.
Because he's not an egomaniac like most of them in politics, you know? Their egos get the best of them. They're like, nope, I'm staying in this till I'm fucking 90 million years old.
Yeah.
Like Chuck Grassley, you know? Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So on that note, we'll wrap this one up. So happy Labor Day.
Because we got dessert, too.
Yeah,
we got
dessert
pie.
from Gideon, the bearded baker.
Yeah.
Cat brought
Yes.
us. Thank you, Cat.
Brazzleberry.
Razzle dazzle.
Brazzleberry.
Razzle dazzleberry.
Razzleberry. All right.
Snowsberry.
All right. All right. Let's talk to y'all later.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.